So we got Bank of America just out right now. Francine, what's the first look that you see?
Yeah, it seems a little bit below estimates, Tom. I'm looking at the first quarter trading revenue, ex-DVA, that comes in at $4.1 billion instead of $4.14 billion. That earnings per share, 62 cents. And the FIG trading revenue, extremely important, especially if you look at, comparables, for example, to one of its biggest rivals, JP Morgan, also a touch below estimates. Now, I'm looking for three things: a little bit more new on the cost cuts, a little bit more thing on how they're planning to open more branches and actually grow within the United States. And I'm also looking for a little bit more news on what we heard from Citi, which is the deposit betas. But Tom, all I have at the moment is the FIG revenue, a touch below estimates, earnings per share of 62 cents.
Yeah, well, I want to go over here and look at the Q1 18 highlights. This is the new way of distributing earnings. Instead of 47 headlines out, we get a fancy PowerPoint that Sonali Basak demanded that they do. So here we are. Sonali, I'm going to go right over here. A little hard to see on revenue, but this is what the pros look at right away, which is the organic revenue growth.
Sure.
Revenue up 9%, loans up 8%. I mean, this is the new look for the banks you look at.
Yeah, I mean, revenue up is a good thing. Net interest income is also up. That's also a really good thing. FIC income, yes, it's down. FIC revenue is down. However, its total revenue is kind of in line with expectations, which means that equities must have been stronger, which is what everyone really wanted to see.
I mean, within this is what does Moynihan do? We'll show a chart here in a bit. Let's get the earnings out of the way. But the vector's in the right direction for Brian Moynihan right now, isn't it?
The vector's in the right direction so long as he can get expenses in line with what he said they would be, around $53 billion annually. So once he could do that, he also has a lot of expansion plans, like opening 500 branches across America, right?
Yeah, so on those 500 branches, this is something that he said in February, 500 branches hiring more than 5,400 workers. Can he stick to those plans?
I mean, that's going to be something they're going to be asking about on the call, cost cutting, especially they have to balance that because they're going to have all this extra money to use after the tax cuts, right? So we want to see also, I hadn't taken a look where the investment banking revenues were, for example. That's something that people thought was going to be a weak spot in the quarter. And so even though net interest income is up, we have to see whether the revenues in the other areas were able to also shine.
Tom, let me just recap what we know so far. So, for example, the equity trading seems to be better than expected. So if you look at equity trading for the first quarter, Tom, that is ex-DVA $1.5 billion instead of $1.1 we were expecting. And then if you look at the FIG trading revenue, still it's ex-DVA 2.5 instead of the 2.9. Yeah. So I guess, two different measures for different units.
Down at the bottom of the presser from Bank of America is the year over year on what Sonali Basak cares about, which is return on average tangible equity, 11%, and now a very nice 15% as well. Can you say it's Fortress Moynihan? I mean, if Brian Moynihan was to do a 46-page letter like James Dimon, can he say it's Fortress Bank of America?
Well, he has to do what James Dimon did and also mention interest rates, right? We have to see, even though net interest income is up, there is a flattening yield curve. So we have to see whether he's able to